Now, I'll be going over the illusion of our world, which I've been talking about for the past 3 videos. I'm finally gonna go over that. So I started up a new Microsoft Paint, which I am gonna copy and paste into this section later on once I complete it. So let's begin. So the illusionary world that we live in, some people call it the Matrix, some people call it a simulation. I think the best thing that describes it would be the mirror world. It means everything is not what it is. So stuff like the sun, ACE, space, what else? You could probably put in water as well. I mean, basically everything is not what it is. I screwed up there. Wind. All these things are what we people perceive them as. What we people perceive them as. We perceive wind as an invisible source of oxygen blowing around from place to place. We perceive space as basically nothingness, and we are a random ball flying through space and going towards a black hole, apparently. We perceive the sun as a fireball in the sky, and we perceive water as the foundation to all life and giving us the energy to, well, more like, water is more like a gas to the human body, and it gives us just the power to go throughout our days and whatnot. And none of this should be perceived as we've been taught. None of this should be perceived as we've been taught, because once we're taught something, we get it in our mind that that is what it is. And this is why I brought up the whole rock thing in the previous video, because the experience I had with a particular rock in our backyard is that there was a face on it when I was young. I think I was maybe 10, 12 years old when this was going on, and I was actually seeing what was actually there rather than just thinking it was a rock. But because my parents told me it's just a rock, that's what I grew to think it was. Our world is, so all this, our world is a mirrored our world is a mirrored world. It's not the Matrix, it's not a simulation. It's because everything we think, everything we see and are told what it is is what we are gonna get. So we are told the sun is a fireball. It's not. We are told wind is uh, oxygen blowing around. I'm repeating myself. It's not. More than likely, wind is energy flowing across the earth that we cannot see. We don't have the, we have never been trained to see it. In one of my dreams, I've actually seen the energy. It's kind of like a rainbow that's flowing across the earth. And that's why I say that's what it is. I also mentioned channeling. Channeling is how I came about this information. Channeling is how I come about what actually is space and what actually is the sun. Uh, so we're gonna do this. In one of the dreams I've had, the sun wasn't there. It was more like this. Uh, like this. So sorry if I'm a bit quiet, just need to concentrate on the drawing. It was kind of like this, and there were three of them like directly behind one another. So this is the first one, there's three others. It was more like a portal, and we've actually seen ships coming from extraterrestrials or different entities from the sun. And this is why, well, probably why I soon, well, why in the dream I perceived the sun as such. Because I basically asked to see what was outside of space. Like a year ago, asked the question to see what Earth was like from space. And through the channeling process, which took a year and a half for me to figure out, I actually saw what was from space. And, well, saw what was from space from Earth. So, which I'll be going into a lot later on. But to break free from the illusion of our world that we are currently in, we need to sever all these. We need to stop thinking what we've been taught and rather see what is actually there and think for ourselves what we are looking at. So the sun is in the sun. It's a portal thing that looks like this, and repeated 3 times. The wind is energy. Space is not blackness. I mean, we can only see what we perceive. So a lot of people are still in the old way of thinking and see space as blackness. We have the different planets, different stars. That none of that is true. So we live in a mirror world, which is a reflection of what we think it is. If we stop thinking the same things, if we stop thinking what we are told to think, then we're going to see the world for what it truly is. And it's a mirror of what we perceive it is. It's going to be far more dreamlike, far more just gonna be fantastic. What's coming on down the line in a few years. I mean, our world is controlled by three things. We have fear, worry, and stress. Fear, worry, and stress. We have all these which control us, all which leads us down the lower vibrational spiral down here that I'm pointing to. All that, all of which feed off one another and keeps us going down that same path. Eliminating fear, worry, and stress will lead to becoming more balanced and will actually lead to growth if you start stepping outside your comfort zone and learning new things. I mean, when someone tells you you are going to be who you always be after a certain age, which I've been told that a few times, they're dead wrong. I can't stress that enough. You are constantly growing as long as you step outside those walls you've placed around yourself as you've grown up. This is perception, where your experience doesn't define who you are. You are the sum of what you do, not the emotions which you've clinged to, which are familiar to you and you've been stuck with. You are so much more, and we as humans are exceedingly more than just animals. We are consciousness. We are creators of our world. We control our reality, for it's the mirrored world. See, in the coming years, we're going to go through a massive change like no other on Earth. One that will take only a few years and amount to more change than all of known human history, all of which I've seen through my dreams and through channeling and through things like this portal I just drew. This information is already out there, hidden and suppressed by unknown and very unfriendly entities. Fear, worry, and stress, they all have a role in our thinking, and our willingness to consider being lesser than what we are, that we cause destruction and chaos. Our constant need to label and order things, we're causing our own destruction through the mirror world, one which reflects what we put into it. I have explained all of this in my previous videos. Telling you the world is going to end isn't going to happen, ever. We won't be swarmed by zombies nor flooded like the great deluge of old. Jesus won't come and Revelation is just a book. Much of the Bible is just a book. No, the coming apocalyptic changes is one of celebration and joy. Our world will lose time. We'll see lands in our skies. Tombs will become one with reality, and the day and night cycle will so consumed by will spin out of control. For those of you that do not believe in the coming events I am telling you, this is but a dream, and those of you who do, reality. A new era which will replace our current 2,000 years of history. No longer will it be after death, but common practice, lasting hundreds of years. A new era beginning with the great solar flash from our sun will awaken the whole world. This event will happen late 2025 to early 2026, lasting till 2030. And I am your humble usher to the new era about to come, and that we're all to live through. We'll all learn about energetic selves and see our world as it truly is in the fourth density. All my videos from here on out will be scripted. I am quite a good writer, and the next video will explain why the new era is to be called common practice. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos if you enjoy them and want to hear more of what's to come and what I know. Thank you, and may the love and light bless you all, as we're all students and teachers to one another. We all grow in unity, or we fall with division.